Hello and greetings to you all wherever you may be. Today is the 31st of August 2023 and this video rather, I've just written the article so it's fresh in my mind. This video is entitled The Path to Enlightenment. I was prompted to write the article and make this video upon awakening this morning in the early hours at about 1:30 a.m. to a keenly presented vision that I wish to describe to you. Enlightenment and the path to such, and consciousness, and self-mastery, and self-improvement, self-help, self-healing, all these wonderful endeavors are extremely close to my mind and heart. And I have written quite a few books and many articles and made quite a few videos to present my ideas, my experiences, my perceptions, how we are all able to improve ourselves in one way or another. So this morning, this vision, this sequence of events that presented themselves to me were in fact quite miraculous and quite marvelous in that it's helping me to know that I'm going in the right direction in my own spiritual development and the development of my own human potential and my own innate consciousness. So the vision included walls, a gate, and a vast space of infinity. This seems to have been stimulated by my attention on following a spiritual path. And this path was presented to me by attaining that spiritual liberation in the vision, which was represented by a vast field of infinity, an infinite vastness that was ever present, omnipresent, constantly, everywhere. And it told me that this path could not really be a path, because if something was omnipresent, then it exists everywhere all the time, and there is no path to it. And that the path to it is born of the limitations of our perception, our ability to think, our minds, the 5% of our mental potential that we're using, it seems, the 5% of our DNA being very limited in our ability to perceive the infinity of creation, provides us with the belief that in order to go from third dimensional reality to infinity, spiritual, metaphysical infinity, which is non-physical, that there is a path. Well, that cannot be so. Logically, the path can only be confined to the third dimensional reality of physical form. So that was the first part of the vision. A path which in fact is a pathless path. Very confusing to me. And then the next vision was that I was confined within 4 walls, very high walls. And within these four walls was the reality of my life, existing in this limited state of being beyond which I was not able to perceive. So my reality was finite, was limited. And that limitation was represented by the walls. And of course, this is indicative of this third dimensional reality we call physical form, where we are limited in our perception and we are not able to perceive, most of us, beyond our capability to perceive. So just to clarify matters, if we're using 5% of our minds, and we're seeing 5% of the light spectrum, and we are using about 5%, 4% of our DNA, it's logical to assume that anything that lies beyond that spectrum is unseen to us, is unavailable to us. So we are confined to a very narrow band of frequency. So the walls were another part of the vision. And then the third part was within the wall, one of the walls, there was a gate. And the gate led to, from the four walls, from the limitation of this third dimensional reality, which is what it seemed to me. The gateway was a threshold that led me to an area which was an infinite vastness, omnipresent in nature, constant, and it was everywhere all the time, encompassing everything. So I pondered how it was possible to live in this third dimensional walled existence of limitation, walking through a gate, a physical gate, into infinity. So what came to me was the walls are, let me start the other way. The infinity, the vast infinity, the space of infinite vastness, omnipresent in nature, is that area which I wish to go to, and so I follow the path, but there is no path, as I have already said, discussed. And so therefore the path is what is known as a pathless path. And the gate to get there, following that logic, is a gate that is the gateless gate, because it doesn't really exist. It is just there to help me translate the process of going from limitation to infinity and providing a portal through which one can move. But the portal is also holographic in nature and not real. So the path is not real, the gate is not real, and what came to me, the kicker, is that even the walls that represented my limited perception in this third dimensional physical realm, the walls are also not real. They are a figment of my fertile imagination. They are holographic in nature. I just imagine that they're there because that is the nature of living in this third dimensional realm. We are trained, we are influenced, we are given beliefs, we are taught patterns of behavior, and we are programmed according to people who, before us, have limited perception. So we are taught to maintain that limited perception. So in order to be able to exist in this realm of what we call physical form, we create the form through thought or through whatever means is available to us, which means that the walls are not real. Now, I have another example to give you. In the physical realm, this third dimensional physical realm of solid physical form, The smallest molecule, the atom I'm referring to, is the smallest particle of physical form. And it is made up of a nucleus, proton, electron, and photons, particles circulating around the nucleus, and the greater constituent of the atom is not the nucleus, not the particles, but space itself. The nucleus and the particles exist in a great deal of space. So it amazes me that physical form, a chair, a table, the floor, the walls, appear to be solid, because if the atoms are mostly space and the atoms make up the wall should not be solid, but they are. They seem to be solid. Let me put it that way. So this lends credence to the understanding that in reality, physical form is not solid. And there is some elaborate process, game, drama that's being played out, whereby we perceive everything here as being in physical form. And we live within those walls of seeming physical form, which represent a prison, because we are not able to go beyond those walls unless we are able to become enlightened. Enlightenment and consciousness, they are both frequencies of vibration, pure energy, which cannot be created or destroyed because they constantly exist in perpetuity, all the time, everywhere. So it seems to me that enlightenment is that which is already in place, and the reason we are not able to perceive it, enjoy it, or be part of it consciously is because there are too many obstacles that prevent us from doing so. So logically, rather than developing enlightenment and more consciousness, which are already there, it seems all we are to do are to remove the obstacles that prevent us from being that greater consciousness, that greater potential, that enlightenment. And that is my revelation of today. And I would be very happy to enter into discussion with anybody who wishes to have discourse with me. Maybe you can offer me some greater understanding. In the meantime, I suggest you connect with my website, which is anthonyaltman.net. That's ANTHONY, Anthony Altman, ALTMAN.net, anthonyaltman.net. And there you can communicate with me on the contact page. Thank you for listening. Until next time.